Look at this peaceful, hallowed place. So close to Halloween. And yet it's also where he will be buried. Hopefully not before his bitch mom and Larry, because they deserve to be buried first. Or just throw him in a wood chipper and scatter him across, some lawn somewhere. That works too. We're doing not really scary stories, but scary recollections, scary ideas and thoughts. Was there anything we didn't talk about last night that we talked about when we got home but didn't record that we can mention on here? Because I always thought it would be scary. I don't know if I mentioned this. It would be scary being home alone late at night. Early in the morning isn't really scary to me because, the sun's going to come out eventually. Late at night is when it's scary. And having a phone go off when no one that I know would be calling that time of night. Or a landline phone that's like been disconnected, that starts ringing. That would be obviously... I know we talked about it, but it goes out saying that late at night by yourself and a knocking at the door or a knocking at your bedroom door, a knocking at the window, falling asleep. I'm tempted to leave my arm hanging, but I'm afraid of I have this fear of someone touching it. And I don't have a cat or a dog, so it wouldn't be a pet. But I have this fear of laying down to sleep with my arm hanging over the bed and just imagining somebody walking by and taking my hand or something. At all times. Which is so completely irrational, but it's there's also that urban myth about someone having a dog and she had a bad dream and she had her arm out and the dog licks her hand for comfort and she wakes up, the dog's dead, and then it's written in blood in the mirror says humans can lick too or something. So of course that doesn't help. I'm oh. I mean, it's Roy. There's lots of crazy fucking people here. I think there's more crazy people here now than there was 20 years ago. Just because I think now it's there's such a stigma. There's more stigma now against mental illness and stuff. It was a stigma back then to talk about it, really, but now it's more of a stigma of treating it. It's anti-science. We have regressed back to anti-science as a nation.
Yeah.
It's a stigma to try to, get a cure for it, whatever, because it's that's wiping your personality. It's if your personality is that of a fucking axe murderer, I think you should be on as many meds as possible.
Yeah.
I can safely say I've never sleptwalked. I did sleepwalk once when we lived on base housing before we moved to Riverdale. This is right after we moved to Utah from Germany. I got up to go to the bathroom and it wasn't really sleepwalking. I might have been half awake, half asleep, but it wasn't full on somnambulism, I was walking in my sleep.
Yeah.
And I was trying to find the bathroom, and I somehow went into the living room, opened the closet, went in the closet, and trapped myself. And was just screaming because I could not get that. Because I was when I could not get out, and I'm this isn't the bathroom.
Yeah. Ours there's so many coats in the bathroom?
Because I didn't think there were ghosts. I thought there were people. I thought there were ghosts.
Oh.
And I'm shrieking. My parents fly out of bed and they, you know, follow my voice. They rip open the closet, which is one of those accordion. I think it was one of those accordion closet doors. But that's the closest I've ever done to sleepwalking. I've done things where I've woken up and I haven't been quite awake yet, and I get up to get something to drink because I'm parched, and this is before I'd like keep a bottle of water in my room. I do that now. I don't keep candy in my room, at least not accessible, for this reason, because I would go and grab like a handful of chips, stuff in my mouth, drink more water, then turn around and go back to bed. Because I'm like, you know, I could eat while I'm here. like I'm not, because if I go back to my room and hit my bed, I'm going back to sleep. So I'm not completely awake, but in my mind, I'm like, you know what? We're in the kitchen. This is where the magic happens, and I just get something to eat.
That's what you do in the kitchen.
I'm like, you know what? While I'm here, I could eat. I've done that with like leftover birthday cake. I've done that with leftover dinner. That's truly a fat person move. Like, you know you're fat when you're like, I just really need water because I'm parched. But then you're also like, but there's leftover cake. And it's not going to eat itself. And it's going to go bad. And I'd feel really bad about those people who cooked it at Walmart and put all their energy into making this cake, and then my parents buying it and then it not being eaten. These are the only clouds I see in the sky. Those mountains up there. Do you like the Halloween month?
I do.
Times, or the times leading up to Halloween?
I do.
I said it the other day, like this time of day, when it's a little bit later than this, but not completely dark, it's like around Halloween with all the decorations and stuff, it's like unnerving to me. Especially if there's like lit jack-o'-lanterns and it's like a quiet street. It's like no one's out trick-or-treating. Well, here in Utah, nobody fucking trick-or-treats. They go trunk-or-treating. But it's just the idea, you know. But supposedly they would light gourds in Rome or somewhere in Greece to keep evil spirits away. Pumpkin seeds is good eating too. In kindergarten, we would take our leftover pumpkin seeds to class and we'd bake them. The teacher would bake them and we'd have those to eat. Because we got snack time and we got nap time. As soon as my ass got promoted to first grade, that shit was done. Also, I remember kindergarten, you only go to school for like half a day. Like if you're going in the morning, it's like, well, the hours have changed now, but it was like, the morning was like probably 7 or 8 a.m. to like 12 or 1 p.m. or something. Maybe not even that late. It was probably like 7 a.m. to like 11. Because class would definitely be out by 3 or 3:15. So then like the afternoon class was like noon to like 3. Or 11:30 to 3, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Because
it's never like exactly, you know, on the hour.
Yeah.
If you really want a horror story, this is the upper class part of Roy, where all the uppity Karens live. It's getting so late and scary and spooky. So look at that. Look at that. Looks like a cornfield, but it's not. It's just
right.
Yeah, it's just dried weeds. But it's like spooky. It's spooky looking. Spooky for the dead people. It's spoopy. Schmoopy and spoopy. Yeah, those are just dead weeds, but they look spooky. Spooky for Halloween. I mean, I think the entitlement and the narcissism from the people of the Wasatch Front is a horror story. Happy Halloween! Oh my God, it's a monster! It's not exactly laid out, but we're old people, so we're getting an early start on the scary storytelling. But we're gonna wait until we get past all this traffic, because it is loud and noisy as hell. It is noisy as hell. Isn't that right, Big Bertha?
That is cool.
It is noisy as hell. What kind of trash y'all got over here? What kind of trash y'all got up in this bin right here? Let's have a look. Ooh, y'all's garbage. Ooh.
Nice piece of sheetrock there.
Well, I have to film the trash. Well, when I advertise, that's what I do now. I have to do it. Oh, I just realized those orange balls are garbage cans. They're having a party over there right now. That's where I filmed that Karen screeching about cupcakes. Oh, and they have a boxing ring. Do you see it?
I do see it.
They have a boxing ring. Lesbian boxing every Tuesday. I want to get some candy, honey. I need some candy, Mama. Premier Funeral Services. That's where your cunt mom's gonna be one day, Andy. Here, being cremated. Because no one's gonna cough up the fucking coin to have that bitch stuffed in the ground. They might toss her along with Lot Lizard Larry in a wood chipper. He's mad. Oh, what's that? Is that another dead raccoon? Let's film it. Is it another random pillow? Why are these random pillows out here? Oh, it's a box. That's weird. I thought it was a dead cat or a dead raccoon. I know it's not terrible. I want to film a dead animal. It's not illegal. You can. You totally can. Oh, thanks for walking on the grass, Annie. That's sacred lawn. That's sacred. It's sacrosanct. You walked on holy, consecrated grounds. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They have rites there, performed there, and you have consecrated. You have defamed it.
But you wanted to film a dead cat that was in the park.
The dead cat didn't belong there. He's such a fucking hypocrite, everybody. So, I have an unusual scary story. A few years ago, not that long ago, in fact, my cousin was living with his girlfriend and his brother in a big house near the Ogden, like kind of near Weber State, where those big houses are, near the Weber Mountains, is a house that his girlfriend's uncle built. And they were all living there. And everything was nice and swell until the uncle brought home the woman from hell, the fiance named Joan, and her demonic children. And they were fine for the first few weeks, and then gradually the rabbit hole got deeper and deeper, and more of her, I love that house, by the way, more of her insanity started appearing. Like, she would want my cousin and his girlfriend and brother to park their cars all the way up the street because she was sleeping during the day and didn't want the cars starting and all that to wake her up. I'm trying to remember all the other crazy fucking things that she said and did, because there is a lot. There is a lot of crazy shit. Basically, my cousin, his girlfriend, the brother had basically the upstairs, because it was like a basement, middle floor, upstairs. And those three basically had the run of the upstairs part of the house as like their little apartment. And Joan and her hell spawn had, and the uncle had the basement, and then the middle of the house was like anyone could use it. But she was like, when she moved in and she started doing like all these rules, these weird random rules, like, you know, when I'm in the kitchen or I'm watching a show or whatever, like, she wouldn't want anybody down on that floor, despite the fact that it's open for everybody to use. She was just crazy. You remember me telling you about her, right? Do you remember any of the other stuff I said? I told you. So I remember they were talking about something, and they all knew she wasn't taking her meds. And that's exactly either what my cousin said or his girlfriend said. And she left this like 6 or 5 page copied note for all three, my cousin, his brother, and his girlfriend, to find and to read. And she outed all of them as being like liars, greedy because they wouldn't share their things that they paid their money with her shitty kids. Because the two boys would go upstairs to my cousin's bathroom, use his cologne, and use more than half of it. Expensive, like $55 Playboy cologne. Make a mess in the bathroom. And just all this other shit. Oh yeah, like her cat got out. One of the youngest kids let the cat out. Because the cat wasn't the uncle's, it wasn't my cousin's or his girlfriend's. It was Joan's cat, and it was an indoor cat. My cousin told me one day, I think it was either before or after they came back from Disneyland. They didn't, like, my cousin and them didn't go, it was just the uncle, Joan, and her fucking asshole kids. I think it was either Disneyland or Disney World. I can't remember. Because they went on vacation. It was like a whole month, and it was a couple of different places they went. I think it was just before. And he tried telling them, but she was like, he told me that she kept brushing them off. She's like, well, just go get the cat. It's like, it's not my fucking cat. It's not his fucking cat. You know, we're like, well, you have a flight to catch, blah, blah, and it's like, it's your fucking cat. It is your fucking cat. Not to sound mean, but if the cat came to the door, we would get it and let it in. But we're not going to drop everything and go, you know. But his dog is a nice little husky, obeys him, doesn't ever growl or bark or bite, knows to let you know when it needs to go outside. And she was always like, that dog is too loud. And I caught it peeing in the kitchen. He's like, it's never downstairs unless I'm downstairs taking it outside. Otherwise, it's always upstairs. And you know what he said? He said, if it is downstairs, it's because one of your kids let it out. And then she dropped it. Yeah. TLDR, my cousin, kind of non-trad scary story, lived with a psychotic bitch who made their lives a living hell until they moved out. And unfortunately, they moved out of a really great place before she did. She also moved out because the boyfriend dumped her ass. The uncle. Tell me your scary story about when you lived in Sunset and you heard the Darth Vader voice, the breathing.
I went downstairs to get something or other.
You woke up, you were asleep, right?
No, I think that I was asleep at the time. It seems like everyone was up, and I go downstairs. I bend over to get whatever thing I'm getting.
You went downstairs into the toy room, the basement.
Yeah.
These details are important.
Yeah, it's a split level home, so that it's the downstairs. I go down there.
There's no lights turned on, right?
I do not recall, actually. But I bend over and I pick up the thing, and I hear this breathing, which that is best described as Darth Vader breathing. And that kind of freaked me out because I didn't know what I was hearing. Another occasion, which I know the answer to, but it was freaky at the moment. I'm standing in the living room and I'm looking downstairs. You know, it's a split level house, so it's a short flight of stairs downstairs. I look down there and the TV randomly is turning on and off. That was because the TV was dying. Either the remote sensor or something was. But it's still freaky to see a TV flipping on and off.
Okay, when we lived in the Sunset place next to that bitch from hell, it was after I moved out, right? That you heard your name being called, right?
Yeah.
Talk about that. This is back in 2009. Hang on a sec. Let me. Okay. It was in early 2009 in Sunset, Utah. You were asleep. Was it in the morning or at night?
I'm laying asleep, and I'm in the dream. I'm asleep on the couch in the living room, like in the middle of the day, and I'm asleep, and I hear a knocking on the door, and that jolts me awake, and I sit up in my bedroom at night, and I'm sitting there, and I don't know, did that knock, was that part of the dream, or is someone at the door? I'm superstitious enough that if I'm not 100% sure there's someone on the other side of the door, I'm not gonna...
Of your bedroom door or the door, the living room door?
Bedroom door.
Holy shit, dude. I thought you heard someone calling your name, or was that in the other Sunset apartment?
That may have been in the other. I know on one occasion in the Sunset apartment.
The Green Acres one, right?
Oh, yeah, there was a different thing, and I was thinking of a different thing. That it was the Roy apartment that we had here when I lived there by myself. On one occasion, the door popped open. The bedroom door popped open by itself. I think that may have been. It only did that once, so that's what's weird.
It did it. Was that the room I used to live in?
Yeah.
That happened to me too. So it didn't only happen once. Also, that Roy apartment was where a dude next door killed himself.
That is correct, yeah.
So I knew this information moving in.
That was weird at time. We were sitting in the main bedroom because I was there by myself at the time. I was using that master bedroom as an office where the computer was set up, and you and I were hanging out, and the attic access in the closet just popped open by itself.
Was I there?
You were there.
Was this when I was returning and visiting? Or was it?
I want to say it was before you moved the first time.
Oh, so it's 2009. Okay. The attic access popped open.
Yeah, we went to the closet, looked up, and it was ajar. Like someone had pushed it and twisted it a little so that it was open just a crack.
But we were sitting there when it happened, right?
Yeah, I even still have photos of when I took my camera that I had at the time, stuck my hand up there, took a couple of pictures, didn't see anything. Some of the insulation was messed up, like maybe, I don't know what it looks like.
Did that guy kill himself before you moved in?
No, after.
Did you hear him kill himself? Like, were you there and you just hear a bang? And then ambulance and all that?
No, I wasn't there at the time. I don't know how he did it.
Oh. What was the one where you thought you heard someone saying your name? Because, okay, the sunset one, first sunset one, you said you thought you heard knocking. And I can kind of debunk that. That could be exploding head syndrome. Have you heard of that?
Yeah.
It's where you hear popping or whatever in your head. It's also, if you're like only kind of lucid dreaming, you can hear someone's car door slam and it can kind of translate as someone knocking.
Yeah.
Or whatever. But because your brain can translate things differently. You know, Lord knows I hear things and I'm like, oh, it's this, it's that, but it's not.
Yeah, you hear something and you don't know what it is, so your brain just makes the connection to what it could be.
You know, like running the hairdryer and hearing Jesus is love.
Yeah.
Jesus is love. But I also kind of think you would know the textile sound of knuckles rapping on your actual bedroom door.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and no one knocked, and there wasn't a knocking the second time, so like I know it wasn't you trying to tell me something in the middle of the night. Like, hey, wake up, I need you.
I don't think I was living there at the time, though, was I? When that happened, didn't I just move out? It was like in March 2009.
The one where I heard the knocking on my bedroom door, that you were there.
Oh. Okay, and which was it where you thought you heard someone saying your name?
That was...
Was that at the second Sunset apartment, the Green Acres one?
It may have been.
Hang on, I'm gonna... We'll cross first, and then after we're out of the traffic, you can continue. If this truck doesn't fucking run us over. Oh, it's UTA, yay. Okay. What did you hear at the Green Acres apartment? Because I was living there the whole time.
A lot of times I heard knocks on the sliding glass door. I always dismissed it as bugs flying into it or things dropping out of the tree onto it. But neither one of those really satisfied for me, because bugs flying that fast make that thud wouldn't happen that often. Can't really drop off.
It sounds like a very light tap when a bug flies into it.
Yeah.
Are you saying you heard like rapid knocks in succession?
Not rapid knocks in succession, just like one knock. Randomly one knock.
But it didn't sound like a bird could have flown into it?
That's the first thought in my mind, but I wouldn't think that it would happen that frequently, but I suppose that it could happen that frequently. Like once every, a couple of times a month later.
Yeah, because at that place I heard weird knocking too. But I thought it was the fridge, because it was an old fridge, and I thought fridges make that weird knocking sound.
Yeah.
And because I remember and also that same apartment, you remember I told you so many times, I would have my bedroom door slightly shut, but I could see through the crack, that I saw the shadow of you, your same posture, like this.
Yeah.
Walking and hearing the pressure go down in your office chair like a body sat down. And I come out to greet you and say, hey, and there's no one there, and the hair on my arms are standing up on end.
See, that's the weird. I can dismiss the shadow part because it's like a trick of the eye. You're kind of subconsciously expecting me to be home, so you think you see some, but
exactly.
Then you hear a noise like that. That's the weird part.
I heard on many occasions what sound like a person's weight going down it, because you know what it sounds like when you sit on that chair, right?
Yeah.
That's what I heard. That is totally what I heard. Can we just go down here for a minute?
Yeah.
Walk through the park and then head home, because I'm not done telling scary things. I told you that, well, I saw a lot of creepy stuff in that apartment.
You told me once, like, a red-headed woman?
I thought I saw a woman, either red hair or brown hair, like hanging from the ceiling.
Hanging from the ceiling?
Like this, like.
Huh. Now that's weird.
Like, do what I just did. Yeah, like slowly oscillate. Like that. That is perfect. The face you conveyed is just like that dead-eyed look.
I don't think you told me the thing part before. I thought that it was like
A ghost, like just an apparition standing there.
I thought it was like the lion head that used to be that was on the wall. Like you were seeing the mane out of the corner of your eye, and that was translating to a woman's red head.
Because, you know, for the last few times staying there, living there, months, years living there, I kept my door shut until you got home.
Huh.
Because I kept seeing weird shadows. The shadows are one thing. Because, you know, the light, and also I found when I'm like moving or whatever in my chair, you see things that aren't there.
Yeah.
How do you debunk hearing a person entering the room and sitting and hearing their body sit in the chair and their weight compress the chair?
Yeah, that's weird.
I got woken up. I don't know if did you ever hear me yell or scream in my sleep?
No.
Because I can't really scream because my vocal cords are fucked. But I woke up because there's like a Jeffrey Dahmer looking fucking guy standing over my bed and just looking at me. Just looking at me. Like just look like you're just like I'm in bed and you're just looking down at me, just like not menacingly, just looking at me. Like that.
Huh.
Like that.
Weird.
And because now I know what Jeffrey Dahmer looks like. He's just like a brunette blonde dude with glasses. Looks like...
He looked like just a guy, right? That's like part of the reason why he was so prolific.
It's not Jason Voorhees. It's not Freddy Krueger. It's just some guy who could work at an office.
Yeah.
So, but it's like this... In my dream, it must have been a lucid dream or whatever, because it was like right there in real time, and I was like, I jumped out of bed swinging. I woke up with my fist swinging and hitting air.
Weird.
Actually, I think I did that and I was reaching for the bat. I grabbed the bat because I still had that baseball bat at that time. What other creepy thing? Because I know there's
that waking dream that I had in that apartment. I woke up enough that I was able to prop myself up on my elbow and squint my eyes. It was the adjoining door to the next door apartment, which I always had blocked with a dresser, so that it's not physically possible for it to be open with a girl standing.
a little disclaimer. Where we used to live, a person used to own the second apartment and paid a bit more money to annex the room. The smaller room, I had the bigger room, to annex that one, so they had like 2 big rooms.
Yeah, so they had the option for one apartment with 1 bedroom and 1 apartment with 3 bedrooms. Yeah,
so they annexed it off, but now it's sealed off with a door so no one can get through it. Okay, go on. You were saying?
So I wake up and I see the doors open. I don't know which way the door swung, but in this vision I had, the door was swung into my room, which, like I say, is impossible because of the dresser and the shelf that was on the dresser. And there's a girl, I don't know how old I would describe her as, but she was standing there looking into the adjoining apartment, which had lights coming in from the adjoining apartment. I get up on my elbow and I lean forward and I squint, like get a better look at what I'm looking at, and it all just evaporates as I wake up and see the room normal, in dark but normal.
That's creepy.
Yeah.
What was the worst? I mean, wasn't there more things that you heard, like noises? You heard your name. I could swear you said you thought you heard your name.
I think I must have heard something like, I must have heard my name at one point and got up and looked around and see that no one was there, but I can't remember that right off the top of my head.
Because apart from things like, you know, we've had shitty neighbors who probably go up, run down the stairs, or throw stuff at our window or door or whatever.
Yeah.
When people have moved out of the bottom apartment, I'm like hearing footsteps on the roof, and I think, oh, that's just the upper floor neighbor. Then I'm thinking, I'm brushing my teeth, and I'm thinking, wait a minute, we're on the highest floor.
We're on the top floor. There's no one above us.
So I'm like, and I told at the time, the property manager at the time, I'm like, why? Like, okay, this, I'm gonna look crazy, but I'm hearing footsteps on the roof. And then I would hear weird noises when it's like I know nobody was in there. Kind of like in the place now. Like no one's in there, but sometimes I hear like people casually walking, then realize they're not supposed to be there, so they're quiet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I got plenty of spooky things to say about the abandoned farmhouse in Clinton. I'm saving that for a behind the scenes video, so I'm not going to really talk about that. I don't really have too many paranormal creepy stuff. The Sunset Place, having Joanne as a fucking neighbor was a nightmare enough.
That time we really did hear someone on the roof.
Yes. Her fucking kid, yeah. I don't think in Layton, I don't remember anything spooky or paranormal in Layton, do you?
The two scariest things are easily debunked. The first, when pitch black, walk around the corner in the front yard where someone had set up a scarecrow doll, and you think, and I thought, I was looking at the little girl in the pitch black, like, what's he doing? But no, it was just a scarecrow.
Wait, you were coming home from work and you saw that?
I can't remember if I was coming home, but I was going around the corner and just a pitch black silhouette. And it doesn't matter if it's a little girl or not. A pitch black silhouette. I'm scared.
But that was outside, right?
Outside.
Okay.
Right out front.
What's the other thing?
It's not scary. It's just fun. I think it's kind of fun to think about. I moved in first before you moved in, right?
Uh-huh.
And I'm taking pictures to show this is what I've done so far. And I'm looking at the pictures I took, and I'm looking at one. I was standing in my bedroom, pointing, and you could see into the hallway and the entrance to the living room. And at about between ankle and knee height, there was a white blob extending from the living room into the hallway. And I think, that's weird. That's not on the floor. What the heck is that?
Was it an orb?
You know, old pictures of ectoplasm? That's not how I would describe it. Because it was not an orb. It was just a white blob.
Was it your stomach?
And I say, I can see right now what that is. I turn, and in the living room was a box with a pillow on top of it, and the pillow was extending into the hallway.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Okay, not so much creepy experiences. but just creepy thoughts that you have during the day or night. Random thoughts. Like my creepy thing, because you know how we can spook ourselves just by thinking or overthinking or just having a random thought?
Yeah.
Like my thing is someone presents themselves from out of my closet.
Ooh, that would be weird.
Or like I go to like, oh, it's because my room has poor circulation. It's like every room I move into has poor circulation. I don't know why. To open the window and someone's standing there.
Yeah.
Like looking in.
That would have been bad at Green Acres because we were on the 3rd floor.
Exactly.
One that always gets me that I don't know how I would react is I hear stories of people feeling the bed depressing, like someone is sitting down at the foot of your bed.
Oh, right.
I don't know how I would react in that situation.
Well, you don't have to worry about it because you're a virgin, so, you know, there wouldn't be any prostitute putting on her clothes to leave to pick up her money from the dresser. I'm an asshole. That's the one paranormal experience you'll never have to worry about.
No, I can still keep my fingers crossed about the ghostly blowjobs and Ghostbusters.
Okay, you know how it's just significantly darker now than when it was when we started filming? That kind of day in Halloween only, I guess maybe throughout even November, because there's like everything starts to look dead. It's kind of unnerving to me because you see the Halloween decor, you see, but it's not night out where you expect it. It's like kind of, it's still day, but it's not like, you know, it's not high noon, it's not early morning, it's like, you know, 4 or 5 p.m. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's another one that's really bothered me? I think a lot of these things because I have ADHD, and I think a lot of ADHD adults have like experienced similar things of just like, and I said this in my story I submitted to Reddit, and Mortis Media, he hasn't read it yet though. Actually 2 other narrators have read it, but I can't find their channels. But it's called like, I think my apartment might be haunted. I know that's a very unique title. I would like be half asleep or daydreaming, and one time, I don't know if this was just a thought of my mind or if I was like hallucinating. I must have just been seeing it in my mind, like I was thinking about things that are spooky.
Yeah.
And you know those like Spider-Man morph suits? Yeah. You know how you can get a morph suit? That's just a pitch black morph suit.
Yeah.
It was like somebody wearing that. And I was, because you know my computer in the Green Acres place was where it's at today.
Yeah.
It's the same wall.
By the door.
So I'm like reclining in my computer chair, my office chair, because I'm debating whether I should go to bed or continue working on this thing for tonight. And I'm seeing this, what I just described, someone wearing a morph suit in a Spider-Man pose, crouched. You know what I mean when I say Spider-Man pose, right?
Yeah. Like crouch down so feet are together, hands are
Yes.
down by the feet.
Down right at of my feet in front of the chair. And I did a double take. I'm like, what? There's no one there. This is so cool.
Like that, yeah.
I like that. I like all the purple. That's so cool. I like that Headless Horseman and the Dragon castle. Too bad Grandma here hates Halloween. And why aren't you telling me scary, unnerving thoughts you have during the day that creep you out?
Well, I have in the past thought that I've seen, like we were talking about before, to go back to that, but I do remember now where I work, when I've been alone, occasionally I've had it where I thought I saw someone walk by, look, and of course there's no one there.
Right.
That's happened to me at work. But as for thoughts that occur to me throughout the day, like, it's always kind of, you always have it in the back of your head. What if there's someone behind the shower curtain?
Someone behind the shower curtain. Again, you won't have to worry about that. I think about things like a disconnected phone turning on and going off.
Like, what if you get a call from someone who there's no reason you should be getting a call from?
Right, like you know those old, you know what I'm talking about, old landline phone.
Yeah.
If I had one in my closet or something, it starts going off. Well, there's no connectors in the closet. Why is it going off? I mean, because as a kid, I mean, I'm sure you have more of these scary what if thoughts as a kid, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you never expressed those to me, but it's like a kid, I would say stuff like this to my mom, like these weird people called the knuckleheads.
Knuckleheads?
Which they're like, in my mind, I could see them, but it's what is your imagination.
Yeah.
But they're like these big, pale blue, undead-looking heads that are like big, swollen heads, kind of transparent, like the ghosts in Beetlejuice.
Oh, yeah.
But standing in the doorway. When we were in Germany, I would always say, my mom's like, you keep talking about them, they're going to come get you. Because I would not shut up about seeing these. And I would call them knuckleheads because their heads were like weird shaped. And I guess I call them that because they were like shaped like a knuckle or something, or bumpy.
Weird.
But they were blue. Like, who the fuck has blue skin?
Yeah.
I know, like, other things that creep me out. Like I said November, because November's not scary. Mm-hmm. It's like the harvest month. You have Thanksgiving to look forward to, family. Mm-hmm. Like I said, because it usually starts to look really dead before December. Mm-hmm. By Thanksgiving, like, all the trees are pretty much dead.
Yeah.
I mean, by the time the sun's starting to set, when it's still daylight out, it's just kind of unnerving to me.
Yeah.
You know, does that make sense?
Yeah. Like the sun is going to be dark.
It's not even the idea it's going to be dark. It's just like this weird period of time where it feels like it just feels wrong. Oh. And then, like, the other idea that freaks me out is, like, there's this glitch in, like, Red Dead Redemption, the first one, or maybe it's the second one, where people glitch out and act like animals. Some of the NPCs will glitch out and act like animal NPCs.
There's an irrational fear. I haven't thought about it for a long time, but I used to think about it. Like, what if I'm walking towards a place, like it happened to specifically at Smith's is when the thought entered my mind, so I think about that. I go to Smith's a lot, walk towards it in the same direction, walk out of it in the same direction. I think to myself, what if I'm walking up to Smith's and I see myself leaving Smith's? Wouldn't that be, what would that mean? That would be so weird.
What, like a glitch in the Matrix?
Yeah, like in a game where, like, you go into a building, you despawn and then respawn when you come out. Like, what if they respawn before you go in and despawn, I guess.